All right, so here with Perv, aka Adam with Massive Novelties, we have a pretty big announcement. I'm going to be exclusively selling Apex 2025 on Peak Male Physique for the foreseeable future. So we're going to go into it, talk about what's changed over the, past 2.5 years since we started talking about the Apex.
Yeah.
And go from there. But this is going to be available, peakmalephysique.com. Website's going to be in the description below. Also, Perfect Swerve, Adam, he's, I want to say, on par with my level of PE knowledge and experience at this point. So check him out at massivenovelties.com, and he also has a relatively sizable following on Reddit.
I think probably the biggest thing is that if anybody's familiar with the Apex system, which currently our sort of flagship product is the Apex 2.0, which will effectively, because we've made so many changes to it, we're going to be naming the updated version the Full Metal Apex, and doing a sort of year model. So the Full Metal Apex 2025 will be the official name. We're pretty much looking at the flagship product of Massive Novelties right now. I think that this is the future of Massive Novelties. It's because of the changes that we actually made to it from the device formerly known as the Apex 2.0. And that is that we moved from a brass system to a calibrated spring system that you can actually easily read. I don't know how much resolution. Yeah, I was going to say you might have to. You can easily read the markings, and the way that you know where you are is the amount of compression will line up with the amount of tension that you are creating.
6 months of just fiddling with it.
This was 6 months of fiddling with it, but the concept we actually started thinking about more. It was like closer to a year ago.
Yeah.
But we knew that we wanted to make a good product more affordable, because the Apex Full Metal, obviously it's full metal. It's made of brass. It's made of high carbon steel. It's electroplated, and it has a aluminum base, and so it is costly for us to make, and we have to, unfortunately, to price it so that we can afford to continue making them, while making somewhat of a profit off of them. So what we wanted to do, and sort of the mission of Massive Novelties, was like PE for the people.
Exactly.
It's like we wanted to put PE in the hands of the everyday man. And so the goal, the dream from the beginning, was to make a device that everybody could afford, and that it was easy to operate, and that it had the nicest parts of all of our collective PE ideas.
Exactly.
And so the calibrated spring system, the bundling knob system, the metal base, and the proprietary patent applied for one-piece frame all sort of came together into this amazing version of the Apex,
right.
Which is
the main thing that changed for you guys is the spring system. Now, if you already have like the Apex 2.0, you don't need to run out and get this one. Main difference is the quality of life improvements and actually the spring strength. So this only goes up to 20 pounds, and the full metal version that'll be on Massive Novelties for the foreseeable future is going to be going up to 40 pounds. Different springs, and then it's a different like housing, so that way it can actually support that amount of tension. Now, I typically don't recommend going above 40 pounds, so this is why it's perfect for my site, because it goes maximum of 20. And additionally, unlike other companies who use like off-the-shelf springs that say they can do 20 pounds, there's a problem. Once they reach 20 pounds though, they start deforming and they start getting inaccurate. These have been designed specifically for this, so that way they're always in the safe working range of the spring, and it'll be as accurate as it was on the first use every single time moving forward.
Yeah, so that's a big question that a lot of people will ask on the Massive Novelties website, or they'll DM me about sort of the degradation of the springs and say like, how long are the springs good for? And the reason that question comes up is because enough people understand spring degradation that they're like, they know that it has a particular shelf life in most cases. So other extenders that use off-the-shelf springs, those springs are only rated to compress to about 60, maybe 70% of their actual like fully closing the springs. So what we did was we outsourced to a company and we made the first springs that were specifically for PE, and these springs can actually be collapsed to 95%, and these are the ones that are on the Apex 2025. So you can damn near close them. The Apex 2.0, we've tested it and we've shown that, you know, by closing the spring all the way, it can actually produce more than 40 pounds, but we just felt that it was so unsafe. We only actually mark out up to 33 pounds on the Apex 2.0.
So another thing that's kind of important to note, just quality of life improvements, is that these lines are etched onto the extender. So there was an issue with, like, particularly the prototype model that I got, that the paint would fade away, but these are literally etched into it, so you would have to scrape it completely clean to get them off. It will not fall off with normal use. Main other thing, knobs, very good. If you do get the product from us, there's a bit of a break-in period where it'll be a little loud while not under tension, but if you push down, no tension whatsoever. And I've been fiddling with this for about 2 hours now.
So for a comparison, if I adjust this one, you can hear like a little bit of a squeak, but like we said, we've both been playing with this one for a little while, and now it has no squeak whatsoever. And the other thing, and you can attest to this, I mean, they're not going to be able to see this. This operation, like spinning this, is ridiculously
it's
glassy,
very satisfying,
glassy smooth. And that's one of the reasons why I don't know if you can, if you can tell, the thing is, we put the numbers on the bottom, and we have the large part on top and the small part on the bottom. That is completely backwards how we did the full metal, how we did the 2.0 originally. So even, now, the full metal 2025 Apex has the same system where we reversed it. The large part is on top, the small part is on the bottom, because we found out through trial and error that reversing that actually leads to a lot more stability, and it just smooths the action out so much to the point where, like I said, like you're really not going to get any binding whatsoever on this system. The things that did stay is that the base is still attached via these little special washers that we call Bellville Washers. And Bellville Washers are great because they are self-lubricating washers that they adapt to the pressure that's being put on them. And so basically what that means is that, you can adjust this Apex to any degree that you would like to, even facing upwards or something like that. And during the course of normal use, it's not going to move because those Bellville washers are they're like locking washers basically. Yeah. They will keep this thing in complete, stability relative to where you put it. Like for myself, I store my Apex where I want it, and this is also a way to adjust your Apex base because they do come a little stiff. Is to put your hand on the base while it's on the table and then adjust it. And I've found that like a very slight like forward lean,
like 10 degree.
Yeah, like 10 degrees is just perfect for me.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. So like, again, this will break in over time. Like I've had 2 or 3 versions of the Apex. They get looser every time. And if it's a major issue for you, just loosen this screw here just a tad. That's all you need. Main thing also, this base is probably the best in the business because of how it's shaped. So if you guys don't really know what I'm talking about, since it's a flat base, it maximizes the surface area because it's pushing into your fat. And your fat's already a cushion on its own. So a lot of the other extenders are rounded, which just allows for the pressure to build up in certain parts and then causes basically a pressure point. So with a completely flat base, you get the maximum surface area that you can to dissipate that force, so it's a lot more comfortable. Additionally, we're gonna have to talk about this off camera, about the comfort pads, how we're gonna go about that. But there is comfort pads on Massive Novelties now that fit these base. The base is practically the same on every model, except there is a plastic version, the Apex DIY. And same idea though, same shape, just you might need padding if you are exceptionally lean.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that we've found over the course of the Apex line that it is typically people that are really lean or have like bony protuberances, like if you have like a really prominent pubic bone or something like that, that you may find yourself wanting to buy an Apex pad, or a lot of people have found that they can eliminate any type of discomfort with as little of padding as just wearing boxers.
Yeah, I've done that. Wearing
boxers and just putting your cup on and everything, and just pulling your penis through the front of the boxers and attaching the Apex that way. So it's we tried. Interestingly enough, we did the math. We actually did a 3D scan into a program that showed us the exact PSI that we would get if we made a round bottom, and it created significant, I think it was 300% higher of pressure points that it created along the lowermost portion of the curved bottom. And so we have a computer program, a functional model that literally proved that a flat base, it creates the most force dispersion because it creates the most contact.
So what that means for you guys is, since it's flat, and when it pushes into your testicles, basically, it's not going to be as aggressive as anything else on the market.
Yeah.
So more comfortable in general.
One of the things also, since you're talking about like it pressing into the testicles, one of the reasons that I made the Apex base as big as I did, and we made this little groove in the front here, this little curvature, is because the Apex can actually be worn in a variety of ways. The Apex can be worn with the testicles behind the base, which is how most people use it. They can be in front of the base, and if you want to extend downwards, you can do that with the horseshoe base facing up. But if you want to extend upwards, you can actually do that by putting the horseshoe, facing downwards like this.
So probably the most important part to you guys is going to be price, right? So they worked really hard to bring the price down as low as they possibly can. I believe we're targeting 150 to 160 at the moment with free shipping.
Yeah, it's going to be with free shipping.
And then anywhere from $30 to $50 for the attachments. So like a typical vacuum hanging kit from us is going to be about $25 to $50 if you get all three bells. If you use something like the male hanger, that would be an additional like $94 off the top of my head. But that's the beauty of this device, is that it's big enough to use whatever attachment point within reason. So like whatever gear you already have, it's going to work with, except for probably the Phallosan.
Yeah, the Phallosan Forte, you can attach the Phallosan Forte with its own little tension gauge system. You can't attach it sort of in the normal way that you would like clip it into. But I've seen people use the Apex with Phallosan Forte with no problem. It works with the male hanger. It works with Foldus's
LG hanger.
The LG hanger. Yeah. It works with the LG hanger. It can fit the M9 has a specific
the wrecking ball.
The wrecking ball, and it's either the wrecking ball or the jackhammer that is specifically, we collaborated on that a little bit, and he made it so that it'll fit in an Apex, and you can go on his website if you prefer to use one of his.
But yeah, basically guys, to me, and I'm completely biased because I'm selling these fuckers, but this is the best extender on the market for the price, hands down, because you can do replacement hanging, you can do relatively low tension hanging at 5, or high tension extending, low tension extending at 5 pounds. And they also have other products in the works specifically for all-day stretching and retention. So that video will be out soon, but otherwise, I think I'll have this up for pre-order by the time this video is up. So check it out there. It's going to be very limited supply at first, but they got their production going just for this, so they probably have a pretty fast turnaround time.
And that is another big thing that I'd like to sort of point out, is that there's a real big bottleneck to producing the all metal, the full metal Apex, that we completely eliminated by using this composite material and changing a couple of the ways that we manufacture it. And so whereas we've never been able to keep up with demand on the full metal Apex, and this we should actually be able to, offer people next day shipping because we have it in stock.
Unless we're severely underestimating demand, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So, but either way, this will be available at Peak Mount Physique. But I pre-order when this video is live and probably for sale within the next week or so. If you're looking for the full metal Apex or Apex DIY, check out Massive Novelties. Very good products. There's a reason why I have partnered with him and no one else on this. So anything you want to add before we close up?
I'm good.
All right, see you guys in the next one.